Thank you for joining me in another episode of Kingdom of Erart. I'm SpunkieMunkie. As you can see behind me, I have the bank system all set up. I just want to explain a few things, maybe mostly about myself. I do not play on multiplayer servers. I'm not very good at player versus player, and I always die, so I find it very frustrating. Kind of like parkour. Yeah, I'm not very good at that either. But so I have a difficult time making those. But this is a banking system I came up with. If there's servers out there that have something similar, then well, great minds think alike. But I did this all on my own, and I'm excited to show you how this all works and how I came up with it. So the first thing we have, the first thing we need to do actually is we need to do a scoreboard to hold our emeralds in the system. So we go scoreboard, and we can go objectives, and we need to add. And the objective we want to add is going to be called emeralds, and that'll be our bank, and it'll be a dummy objective, but we want it to be displayed more proper like that. So that will give us the scoreboard objective called emeralds, and it'll be shown as emeralds. Voila! Now we have basically a variable to hold how many emeralds you have in your account. So now that that's done, the first thing I'll work on is the show bank account balance. And basically you see the green carpets here, and I'll explain those as we go on. But there's just a button here, and it'll pop it up on a sidebar. So let's go ahead and come around the corner here. Before I go on, I cleaned out my inventory, but before I did, I put all the blocks down that I normally use for the decorating and stuff. And if you remember the last episode, I explained pick block. So what you can do is, pick the block, bam, there it is. And it's right there. I got it all laid out for myself, so I don't have to worry about forgetting what materials were used. And creating a map, something like this, is actually quite useful. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up on that. I thought that was, it's basically my palette, palette that I'm using. All right, so let's get into it here. The first thing we got is the account balance. Now our button is right here behind this top block. And basically you can see all the supplies I have. I have redstone repeaters, redstone comparators. I'm using block gold basically to hold my redstone. I like to use an odd block, and preferably something bright so I can see the redstone wire on there. Of course, we'll need a chest and hoppers. This I have just in case I make a mistake, which never happens. Redstone torch, redstone wire, and then of course a regular command block. And let me show you how to get a command block in case you don't know. But basically, it's just give at S, which is yourself. As you can see, it pop up there. This is what I like about Bedrock, is it makes it a lot easier to do the scoreboard and command stuff, because it actually gives you all your options here. And then I want command block. And voila, there's my command block. That's really the only way you can get a command block. Okay, so the buttons on the other side, we want to show our account balance. So first thing we need to do is pop a command block right there, so when they press the button, this command block gets activated. And what we want to do is show you always use a capital E for emeralds, and we just want to show the emerald account, and all this stays the same. Impulse, unconditional, redstone, needs redstone. And then we've got scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, and we want to display the emeralds objective that we just created. We'll just double check here. We'll take a little run around and double check and make sure that that works properly. And there we go, we have emeralds. It's on the side over there, it just popped up. Now one thing I like to do for testing purposes is get rid of that carpet right there, because we actually don't really need the carpet on this one. Like I said, I'll explain the carpet as we move along here, but I will put a second button there. And this is, like I said, just for testing purposes. That button will not be there. So we'll go ahead and pop that in there. So now you see how the arrows are pointing on the command blocks. So this button will only work this command block, and this button will only work this command block. So what I want to do on this one is clear the sidebar. And the way we do that is scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar. And we don't put emeralds in there or anything. That will clear it out. So basically that will remove the display. Again, we'll double check that because the emeralds are still showing on the side. So bam, gone. It's not showing, and it is showing. And the reason why I do this is because I might have some other sidebar things later on in the game. So something else might be showing. So you might want to come here and click that so you can see your emeralds in your account. Okay, so now that we've got that taken care of, the next thing we need to work on is the deposit. This is where the redstone part comes in. And the first thing I need to do is get my carpet out. Okay, I need to go one more block down. And the flooring here won't matter because I'll have to remove it all anyway. But basically, let's see. So yeah, we put a chest right there. And let me go ahead and actually delete those. So we'll put our chest right here. And while I'm here, and I already got the dirt cleaned out, this will save me a little bit of running around. I'm going to take this dispenser and pop it right there, facing up. And that's really about it. See, now the carpet will go here. So when you go to deposit, you'll be like this. And you just open your chest, deposit your emeralds in, and you'll see it. You'll see it off to the right over there. It'll add on. You'll see as we get to that point. But there's a reason why I do this down one, and I'll explain that when we get around to it here. But so let's go ahead and start digging this out for the redstone. So now let's see, bam, yeah, okay, there's our chest. So I'm going to open this up. I'm going to dig it out some. Okay, now I got a decent sized area here. I might have to go a little more, but we'll work on that in a little bit. So what we've got here is what I want to do is I want to start setting up the hopper chain. So what I like to do is I like to use an odd block. Right now I'm going to use spruce to hold where the hopper is going to go. So I'm going to put this block here, and I'm going to pop that hopper right there. And that's the one that's under the chest. Okay, so you notice that the hopper is facing into this one. So the next one I'm going to do is going to be here, and it will face into that one. And then the last one will face into that. So when you put something in the chest, I'll go ahead and pop that back out again. When you put something in the chest, it'll automatically come in here, flow around right to the dispenser. Okay, now the reason for that is so if it's not an emerald, it'll come back around to the dispenser and get dispensed up right where this carpet is. There's that piece of carpet, and that's why the dispenser is facing up. But the first thing we need to do is make sure we accept only emeralds. So what we need to do is put another block here. Oops. Got to crouch. There we go. Put another block here, and those are representing the hoppers that I still need to add in. Okay, so basically what we're doing here now is just adding in a typical filter system, which is not right. That got to go down one. Okay, so which means that I got to go take this down one. Okay, so now that that's done, we're basically doing, like I said, a filter system to filter out just emeralds. So we need a block there, and we'll put a block there, and then there's a block there. So it's a typical filter system. I don't have to worry about overflow or anything like that. So what we can do is, there will be a hopper here, but we need the comparator first. And then we also need a redstone repeater here. So it's just a typical basic average item filter. Okay, now that we've got that one, okay, now that we've got that one, we put a hopper just like that facing into the comparator. And then we have one down here that we will put that there temporarily, and we will get our chest. And this should be the last chest that we need. So we'll go ahead and put this chest right there and get rid of that. And it should be right underneath the dispenser there. So that's perfect, that's what we need. Now we need a redstone torch right there, because that'll lock this hopper right there. Okay, so in this hopper here, we set up the filter system. So we don't need hoppers anymore, and we don't need any more chests. You notice I got 64 emeralds. So what I do is pop that in there, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I go ahead and just put the rest in there. Now what's happening is when you throw an emerald in, it'll come down here. If it is an emerald, it'll come down here into the chest. Now this should go all the way down to 18. And there it is. And there will be one locked in here. So I don't have to worry about the players losing any emeralds. And that gives me 41 left to play with, so that works out well. So now, if you throw emeralds in this chest, the emeralds get filtered and put down into this chest. Now if you throw something in here that is not an emerald, it'll come around here and end up in this dispenser. So that will be the next step that we do. So we've got our filter system ready to accept only emeralds. Okay, so now what we need to do is get this dispenser ready to go, and I will just throw that, throw that there temporarily, pop that in there. Okay, now I know we'll need to dig some of this out some more here. Okay, that should be enough, I think. So we'll put one there, one there, one there. Bam. Okay, now just put that little circle there. And the reason for that is what we do is we put a comparator right there. So if anything goes into this dispenser, the comparator triggers. And we want to put a repeater to boost the signal strength. And then on this side, we need to put another repeater right here to trigger the dispenser. And then the rest of it's just laying out the redstone wire. You hear it clicking. Where's my way out? So we should have a bunch of carpet sitting there, see? So if you were standing here, we'll go ahead and throw 10 emeralds in, and we'll go ahead and throw the 8 carpets back in. So our 10 emeralds are gone, and we're back to a full stack of carpets, so we got them all back. That's working perfectly. That's exactly what we want. So if you guys throw anything else but an emerald in there, you just get it right back. And we'll go ahead and get our 10 emeralds back for testing purposes in a little bit. Okay, now you notice I opened this chest to get my emeralds back, which, as a game maker, I have no reason to keep a chest full of emeralds. So what I do is I put that block there, and then I'll put a comparator just like that. And I'm going to need to open up this wall some more. Okay, now is where we add in the command block stuff. Okay, now as I said, players putting in emeralds, they're putting them in and they'll end up in this chest, which we don't want. Okay, so every time an emerald comes into this, let's go ahead and throw an emerald in. See, the comparator is now lit because there is an emerald in this chest. Now you take that emerald out, the comparator turns off. Which brings me to what I need to do now. So now we start the command blocks. Okay, so now that our comparator there is all set up to read all the signals and everything, the next thing you want to do is come on back up here, and basically everywhere there's a piece of red carpet, you want to write down those coordinates, which I've already done, so I don't have to bore you with that. But yeah, that's why I have the coordinates up in the upper left-hand corner there. So you want to make sure to write down the coordinates of all these green squares before you start the command blocks. You're going to need to know those coordinates because that's what makes it multiplayer friendly. You just write down all of them. So now that we know where the coordinates are, we can come on down here and start our command block. So we want to put a command block right on the edge of that comparator. First thing you want to do is show the account. And basically it's just the same button that you have up at the first button there. So it's, scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, and you want to display emeralds. Now the reason for that is just in case they don't press that first button up there, it'll automatically show the account. It does slow down the system very slightly, but it's better to do that so you can see, and I'll explain that in a little bit as to why. So now we put the next command block, and this one we want as a chain and always active, and we'll leave it unconditional. And here's what we want to add. 1 emerald to the player's account. I'm going to go ahead and open up this one because this one's a little longer. So we got scoreboard, objective, scoreboard, players, add, and we want to add it to the closest player, and this is where the coordinates come in. Okay, 95, and then the key right here that makes it multiplayer is a radius equals 1. So it will only do it to a player standing on that green carpet square. And what we want to do is just add 2 emeralds, objective, and 1 emerald. And there we go. So it'll add the 1 emerald to the player's account. And then we come into the problem of them being emeralds in here, and every time 1 emerald shows up, it triggers this. So what we want to do is we want to remove that box with the emerald in it. And the easiest way I found to do that is just do a simple set block. So what we'll do is we will call it a new chest. And we also want this as a chain and always active, and go ahead and leave it unconditional. And what we want to do is set block and the coordinates. We also need the coordinates of this chest, so it's -17, 5. Okay, so now that we have the coordinates of this chest, in this case, it's at 19 where I'm at now, so it's going down. So the coordinates of this chest is -17. Now I'm standing at 62, but the chest is up 1, so you want it at 63 and 95. So that's where I got my coordinates from. So now we can come back here and do the set block at 95 And what we want to put there in that spot is a chest. Bam, voila. Okay, so now we can head up and test this. What we'll do is we'll take, okay, so we'll go ahead and put 10 emeralds in the chest, and you can see it off to the right hand side. It is adding your 10 emeralds to your account, and the 10 emeralds are gone. So there you go. We deposited 10 emeralds to our account, and the facing's different on the chest, but it doesn't really matter what the facing is on the chest. So the chest is completely empty, just like we need it to be. So I don't have to worry about emptying this chest out, you know, because obviously I won't be on this game while playing it. But while you guys are playing it, you'll be on your own thing. So I want to make sure that chest stays empty so it does not overflow. And that takes care of that problem. So that is the deposit system. Done and done. So what I can do to go ahead and button this up. We'll go ahead and put that block back, and I'll make sure it's nice and lit up down here so monsters aren't spawning down here. And again, what I like to do is a different block here to show that that's my way down. So now we've got our account balance, which is 10, and we've got it to where we can do it. Now you are not going to be able to click on this. There's just a very slim chance that you click on it, but it's empty. You still can't reach the one with the emeralds. So sorry guys, I pre-planned for that. Okay, so now we've got the withdrawal. 1 emerald, 10 emeralds, and 64. Now this is no more redstone. We're kind of done with the redstone now, so we can do all command blocks. Okay, so here is, we'll do the withdrawal 1 emerald first. Now the button is right here behind this block, so we want that you have the comparator out to detect that button signal. And then we'll go ahead and crouch and put our first command block on here. And this will be to test, make sure you have 1 emerald in the player's account. And we do want this to stay the same. Impulse unconditional needs redstone. And this will be a little long, so we'll go ahead and scoreboard players test, and we want the closest player to the coordinates of that green carpet, 97. And again, for multiplayer purposes, we want a radius of 1. So that will be the only player. So even if there is one closer, it'll still test the player that's in that specific spot. And we just need to make sure that they have the emeralds. They have 1 emerald in their account. So that's what that is doing. And we can test that. 1 emerald. So see what, now watch this. You know, I'm outside, I'm not in the green square. Nothing happens. Now you watch on the upper left-hand side of the screen when I press the button. See, I did score is 1 in range. So I do have 10 emeralds in my account. So it is saying, yes, you do have 1 emerald in your account. So that's why, that's what makes this multiplayer friendly, and why you want to make sure you stay on the green squares. And I'll show you a little bit on this later in a little bit when we do further testing. Okay, so now that the first command block is done, we can go ahead and crouch and place a second command block. And this one will be to remove 1 emerald from the player's account. Okay, now this one we want as a chain. We want it conditional, and we want it always active. And the reason why we want that is because this needs, if this test fails, then this command block will not work because it's conditional. This first command block has to succeed before this command block is activated because it's conditional. So that's how that works. So again, we'll go ahead and pop it on here because it's a little long with the coordinates on there. And it's players, remove, and then we got the closest player to 97, and again with a radius of only 1. So if you're not standing on that green square, you won't get your emeralds. And then we need emeralds and 1 emerald. So that removes 1 emerald from your account. And then we go ahead and crouch place 1 more command block, make sure they're all facing the same way. Okay, and this one we want to give 1 emerald. And this one also needs to be chain, conditional, and always active. And go ahead and pop it on here too. So now we just need to give the closest player at those coordinates 97 with a radius equals 1. Okay, so then we do emerald. Now be careful here because our variable is emeralds, but we're giving an emerald. One emerald is what we're giving. And that should take care of that. Okay, so now you see I have 10 emeralds in my account. We'll go ahead and test this. So I have 10 emeralds in my account. We're currently sitting on 31 emeralds. So I will stand on the green carpet, press the button. You can see on the light, now on the right hand side, my account is showing 9, and I now have 32 emeralds, so it worked. And again, if you're not on that square, you get nothing. So now that I'm down to 8, we'll go ahead and test the deposit again, because I'll put my 2 emeralds in there, and then what I'll actually do is put an additional 10 in. And you see on the side, it is counting up. You want to make sure to stay here while those are in there. Okay, so those 10 emeralds are now in the account, so now I have 20 emeralds in my account. And we can go ahead and do, voila, gave me an emerald and took 1 out of the account. So we'll go ahead and pop that emerald back in, just so I'm testing with even numbers. And there we go, my account is back up to 20. Okay, now a little trick I like to do is, see, I don't need repeaters. I'll need that. I'll need that, but I won't need that no more. Actually, don't need any of this anymore. So, okay, so now to make this easier to set up these other 2, if you hit Control and then middle click on the mouse, it does the pick block, and it gives me the command block. Now you'll notice there's a difference. Here's the command block I normally got. This one says command block plus data. And I will move over 1, and I will do the same thing to all of them. Control, middle click, move over 1, Control, middle click. Okay, and the reason for that is now I can do 10 emeralds and 64 emeralds, and it'll be a lot easier for me. So I put that there, and then I can go ahead and put the first command block, and it is test for 1, which we are now testing for 10. Okay, and there will be a difference in the coordinates. So this 97 just changes to 99. And instead of giving or testing for 1 emerald, we're testing for 10. And that's all I got to change. That's why I did this. Makes it nice and easy. And I can put that. And again, we do the same thing here. Now we are testing for 10 emeralds to remove. And it's the same thing as 97 will go to 99. And we change the emeralds from 1 to 10. And then crouch block to do this last one, where we give 1 emerald, but in this case we want to give 10 emeralds. And again, we go to 99. And we want to change the 1 emerald to 10 emeralds. And there we go. So we'll go ahead and do another test. You can see I have 20 emeralds in my account. And I'm sitting on 21. So let's go ahead and stand on this green carpet. So you can see on the right hand side 10 emeralds have been taken out of my account, and you can see on the left hand side that I have been given 10 emeralds, and there I am, I'm up to 31. So I have withdrawn 10 emeralds from my account. So I'll go ahead and do the same thing here for the 64, and I'll bring you back for the testing on that. Okay. We got that all done, so now we have 64 emeralds given me, but I don't have that in my account, so actually we can test that. Make sure this is 64. See, I don't have 64 emeralds in my account. Nothing happens. But I do have 10, so I can come over here and withdraw those 10. See, now my account is down to 0, and I'm back up to 41 emeralds. So now in order to test that 64, I'm going to go ahead and grab another 64 emeralds. Now first thing I'll do is pop this down here, come down here and put these 64 emeralds in. And I will deposit these 64 emeralds first. So we'll wait and stand here and wait until that number goes up to 64, which is why I make sure that this display is shown on the rest on the side so that you don't leave before those 64 emeralds are in your account. Okay, there we go. We got 64 emeralds in the account. Now, I will show you while I'm here what happens if you step off this carpet. I'm going to go ahead and put this additional 41 emeralds in there. Okay, and you see it's adding on. Now I get out of the way. Emeralds are still going in, but nothing's getting added to my account. But I come back over here, and it's coming back into my account. So you got to make sure you stand still when you're waiting for these emeralds to come in, and make sure you stay on this green carpet. So now I've got 93 emeralds in my account. Obviously I lost some, and we can go ahead, and now I have absolutely no emeralds in my inventory, and we can go ahead and onto this green carpet, and there we go. We just received 64. So now you can see out of those 41 emeralds that I deposited, I only received 29 of them into my account because I stepped out. Okay, and make sure that because I don't have 64, again, nothing happens. So I can go ahead and go over here and get 10 and 10 more. And I can withdraw the rest, the last 9. Okay, now my account is down to 0, and I have the 64 plus the 29. And the rest of those 41 original emeralds I have lost because of this way I have this coded here. Where you come down here, your chest is empty because it always makes a new chest every time you get an emerald in there. So you lost those emeralds because I left. So the last thing I like to do. Okay, so as you can see, I moved the signs down 1 block so I can place new signs up here. And I'm going to go ahead and start right here. And I'm basically putting a warning here. So I put a little warning up here. For security reasons, you must be standing on green carpet for deposit or withdrawal to be credited. Not responsible for lost emeralds. As you saw in that account earlier when I was depositing, and while it was counting in, I stepped away. Okay, now one of the other things I can do is that just takes that off, so I'm going to remove that because that's just for my testing purposes. And that is it. My banking system is all set up. So we'll go ahead and just run some testing here. Well, that was a long adventure. Let's see what we can get on our emeralds so I can start buying some good stuff. Let's see, I've got 93 emeralds in my account. So let's withdraw 64. Bada bing, bada boom. Let us withdraw 10. And we'll go ahead and withdraw another 10. And just for testing purposes, nothing. I don't get my 1. And that's it. I have 64 plus 29 emeralds, which is what I started off with. And you see my account is showing as 0. So that is how I set up the bank account. So you guys know how it works. When you guys download this world and start getting ready to play on it, you know your emeralds will be safe in the account as long as you stay on these green carpets while things are going on. Obviously, it's real easy to do the withdrawals because it happens so quick. It's one give and bam, they're all there. But the key one is your deposit. You want to make sure, which is why I step it down 1. You want to make sure you stay on this until you see the count on the right hand side is completed with the number of emeralds in there. And again, like I said too, anything you throw in, pop, come right back to you. That's not an emerald. So that's it for the banking system. Okay, there is one more thing I wanted to do, and you can see down here I added an additional sign. Please wait until deposit is finished to try and keep you here. And the other thing I realized too is auto jump kind of takes you up here, which would take you off that green spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that torch and put a stair there. There we go. No more auto jump. So that's just something to help you out. Make sure you don't jump on the chest. And that should take care of that. Well, I hope you like my custom banking system, and it gives you a place to put your emeralds when you're out adventuring, so that you're not, if you perish, that you're not losing your emeralds. And there's going to be times on this map, like big ticket items, like the next episode, we'll be setting up the vault system where you can have your own double chest, again, to store items so that you, should you perish, you won't lose them. But you will need those emeralds in your account in order to be able to purchase those big ticket items. The actual emeralds themselves in your inventory will not work for purchases like that. The emeralds basically will be for the villagers, to be able to trade with the villagers to purchase your individual items and stuff. So please hit that like button, and if you do like this episode, please make sure you hit that subscribe to see more of these episodes, and I will see you in the next episode of Kingdom of Erart. Bye.